All right, buckle up because we are diving into some seriously mind-bending stuff today.
Yeah, we're talking about the Urantia book and
We are tackling paper 14,
specifically paper 14, yeah.
which, let me tell you, it makes black holes look like a walk in the park.
It really does.
So to try to wrap our brains around this, maybe you can set the stage for us.
Well, what's so captivating about this deep dive is that it takes us beyond just gazing at distant stars. We're dealing with a whole spiritual cosmology laid out right in front of us, a framework for understanding not just the universe as it is, but our place in it. And the smack dab in the middle of it all is Havona, the central universe.
A central universe. You're gonna have to break this down for me.
Okay, so picture a place of utter, absolute perfection. Imagine like a cosmic city, but amped up 1,000,000,000 times more majestic than anything we could ever dream up. That's Havona. A colossal island of stability made up of 1,000,000,000 spheres, each more awe-inspiring than the last.
A billion with a B. And that's a lot of celestial real estate we're talking
Now
about.
get this, unlike our very own universe, which, can't seem to sit still, always changing and evolving, Havona is portrayed as this finished masterpiece, a testament to the sheer, infinite power of the creator. It's like the ultimate blueprint, the gold standard for everything in creation.
So while our universe is still trying to figure things out, Havona is already there. The picture of perfection.
Precisely. But it's not just randomly floating around in space. It has this incredible structure, like a perfectly ordered city. Imagine this. Paradise, the source of all creation, right at the very center. Then picture those 1,000,000,000 spheres of Havona, meticulously arranged around it in 7 concentric circuits.
7 circuits. Are we talking about some kind of cosmic traffic circles here?
Think of it more like levels in a video game, but on a cosmic scale. Each circuit or level has its own distinct characteristics, its own unique inhabitants.
So as you ascend through these circuits, you're leveling up, so to speak.
You could say that, yeah. Moving through these circuits means undergoing this incredible spiritual education. Ascending creatures, like us, would start their journey in the 7th circuit, the furthest out, and gradually move inward, circle by circle, with each step inward representing a massive leap in spiritual development.
Hold on, back up a minute. You're saying we, like humans here on Earth, could actually go to this place?
According to the Urantia book, yes. It suggests that we, as spiritual beings, possess the potential to, ascend through the universe, with Havona as the ultimate destination, and ultimately reaching the 1st circuit, the one closest to paradise itself.
Paradise, the ultimate VIP section.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's in this journey toward the divine, this incredible ascent, that lies at the very heart of the cosmology presented in the Urantia book.
This is all mind-blowing, but let's talk about time for a second. You mentioned that a single day in Havona is equivalent to almost 1,000 years here on Earth. Now, I'm all for a long weekend, but that's a really long time.
Yet it's hard to wrap your head around. Time, as we perceive it here, it just functions completely differently in Havona. It doesn't bind you in the same way. And think about this. There's no decay, no death as we know it. Lower life forms undergo this process called, get this, transmutation of materialization. Basically, they can change their form without actually experiencing death.
Okay, so no wrinkles, no gray hairs. Sign me up. But seriously, if our very notion of time is so different there, what else about our human experience might not quite translate in Havona?
Well, for starters, our senses wouldn't be of much use.
Right, really?
The text explains that Havona operates on these entirely different energy forms and laws of existence that are just, fundamentally different from our own. It's a realm that exists beyond our current comprehension, beyond the grasp of our human senses, at least as they're currently wired.
So you're saying if we were to visit this amazing city of 1,000,000,000 worlds, our senses would be basically useless?
Picture this. You try to experience Havona with your current physical body. You would essentially be blind, deaf, and completely oblivious to your surroundings.
So much for sightseeing. That's a lot to take in.
Uh-huh.
This amazingly beautiful city of 1,000,000,000 worlds, a place where time flows differently, and our human senses are about as useful as a chocolate teapot. But what about the residents? Who or what are we going to meet when we get there?
The idea of encountering beings so different from anything we can imagine, even if they're, spiritually advanced, it's a little intimidating. Like, what do you even talk about with a being of pure light?
Yeah.
Do they play charades? Well, that's the fascinating thing. The Urantia book doesn't paint this picture of Havona as just a society of, super beings all in the same wavelength, While it does describe these 7 fundamental life forms, And each of those with, get this, countless variations. It really stresses the sheer diversity of the inhabitants of Havona.
So less like a perfectly arranged choir, more like a cosmic jam session.
Exactly. And these beings, they have their own unique purposes, their own experiences in this central universe, totally independent of our own journey. They're not just, celestial statues just standing around. The text, it describes them as living these incredibly rich and full lives, their activities going way beyond anything that we, with our limited human perspective, can even begin to grasp.
Okay, so what do they do all day? If there's no Netflix in Havona, how do they spend their time?
We'll try to imagine this. Beings of pure light and life, eternally settled, dedicating themselves to, serving these perfect worlds. It suggests a society that's both dynamic and thriving, constantly in motion. Think about it. If you had eons to explore your passions, to contribute to this universe of unimaginable beauty, what would you do?
Honestly, I'd probably just be overwhelmed. It's a lot to process. But it does make you wonder, what's possible. Like, the potential for life to exist in forms we can't even dream of.
And that's the beauty of the Urantia book. It
Oh.
really challenges us to expand our understanding of what life, intelligence, even purpose can look like outside of our own tiny corner of the cosmos.
It's humbling, to say the least. But let's bring it back down to Earth for a second. Why should we, stuck here on this planet, care about any of this? What does a place like Havona have to do with, our everyday lives?
And that's where the Urantia book gets really profound, I think. It's not just some fantastical travelogue of the cosmos. It's presenting us with like a framework for understanding our own spiritual potential.
So it's less about reaching this final destination and more about, like, the journey of growth and discovery that gets us there.
Exactly. Even in eternity, the adventure never truly ends. The excerpt even mentions like undreamed of changes and a veritable university of surprises that await those who journey through Havona.
Okay, a university of surprises in a realm of eternal existence. Now that's an education I could get behind.
It speaks to that fundamental human desire, don't you think? To explore, to learn, to constantly evolve. And the Urantia book seems to suggest that this desire is like woven into the fabric of who we are, and it doesn't just disappear because we, shuffle off this mortal coil.
We're hardwired for this journey, even if we don't always realize it.
Precisely. And what could be more exhilarating than the chance to explore essentially the ultimate cosmic playground, this universe meticulously designed to help us evolve spiritually and deepen our understanding.
And it's like we're, I don't know, programmed for this cosmic upgrade, even if we don't have the instruction manual yet. But it really makes you think, if this Havona is like the ultimate expression of, growth and understanding, what does that mean for us down here?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If this central universe really does embody perfect harmony and spiritual evolution, what does that tell us about our own potential? About the possibilities that are maybe hidden within us, maybe even within our world?
So instead of looking at this vast universe and feeling, insignificant, maybe it's actually like a call to action, a challenge to, aim higher, starting right here, right now.
Exactly. And remember how we talked about Havona being this blueprint for perfection? What if, eventually, we could actually create societies here that reflect, even just a little bit, the principles of Havona? Just imagine a world where wisdom, compassion, a deep understanding of how interconnected we all are, those are the norm.
It's a pretty ambitious goal, I gotta say, but I have to admit it's a pretty inspiring one, too.
The Urantia book, it doesn't shy away from how incredibly massive and complex the universe is. But at the same time, it offers this message of hope. It reminds us that we're part of something so much bigger than ourselves, this grand cosmic story that's still being written.
And we actually get to play a role in how that story unfolds, even if our part seems small.
Precisely. Every act of kindness, every moment of growth, even just trying to understand and connect with something beyond ourselves, it all feeds into that grand narrative.
This deep dive has been, well, a wild ride, to say the least. We started out feeling like tiny little specks in this vast and indifferent universe, and now we're catching glimpses of this potential cosmic destiny beyond our wildest dreams.
And, maybe that's the most important thing we can take away from exploring Havona. It's not just about reaching some far-off destination. It's about embracing the journey of growth and discovery, both within ourselves and in the world around us.
So where do we go from here? We're not exactly packing our bags for Havona anytime soon, but is there something from this deep dive that we can actually, use in our lives, like today?
Maybe it's about holding on to that sense of perspective, that bigger picture. remembering that all of this, our struggles, our triumphs, even just existing, it's all just one small chapter in a much, much larger story. A story that spans billions of worlds, trillions of beings, stretches across, well, eons of time, really.
It's a good reminder that life's not meant to be lived entirely inside our comfort zones, right? Like, if we really want to grow, we have to be willing to step into the unknown, to question what we think we know, and just kind of embrace the mystery of it all. Who knows, maybe that journey will even give us a glimpse of Havona right here within ourselves.
Now, wouldn't that be something? And I think that's the perfect note to wrap up this deep dive on.
Until next time, everyone, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and never stop looking up. You never know what wonders are waiting out there in the vast expanse of the cosmos or even within the depths of your own being.